Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Sallies are going to be hunting some Greenskins today as the Lizardmen face off against the Greenskins. So we have Alfredino going to be leading the Lizardmen, and we have Showtime going to be leading the Greenskins. So for the Lizardmen army, we have a vanguarded front of chameleon skinks with 3 pterodon riders as well, supporting them in the sky. So they have quite a few poison sources here on the field, one of which is the Fallhawk Sentinels, which gets plus 20% to their physical resist. They also do have a bit of nice extra missile damage to boot. And for the rest of the armies, we do have a couple of Salamander hunting packs, and they do have bonus versus large flaming attacks, so there should be some nice juicy targets, especially trolls, considering they do fire attacks as well, and they do fire attacks in melee once they have used up most of their ammo. We also have the Cold One Spear Riders as well on both flanks, and the rest of the units is just going to be some Skink Cohort mixed in with some more Skink Cohort with Javelins. So there's going to be plenty of poison sources for the Lizardmen. For the Lords and Heroes, we have the Skink Priest of Beast going to be bringing Transformation to Kadan and Flock of Doom. And for the Lord, we do have Krokgar up on his Carnosaur, going to be bringing a couple of his abilities. He does have the Hand of the Gods as well as the Sacred Spawning of Jotol, or however you pronounce that. He also has Cold-Blooded as well, which is traditional for all of the Lords and Heroes for the Lizardmen. Now for the Greenskin side, we do have a front of Goblin Spears going to be spread out across that front line, and then we do have some bit more elite units in the rear behind them, as we have a couple of Black Orcs and the 8 Peak Loonies going to be throwing things into the mix with their Fanatics. And then we have quite a bit of skirmish as well, as we have 4 Forest Goblin Spider Riders going to be spread out throughout the field, and we do have some the Swamp Things in the back, the ROR River Trolls, who do have a terror as well, so that's a very nice thing for trolls to have, considering that makes them immune to terror themselves. For the Lords and Heroes, we have the Skarsnik. He's going to be bringing Fermented Fungi, and it looks like that is Curse of the Bad Moon as well. Spite of the Bad Moon. Curse is the spell. And then we have Giant River Troll Hag, going to be bringing Spirit Leech and Mither. And of course there is that Arachnara Queen with a few extra summons to kind of throw onto the field. And one more Forest Goblin Spider Rider in the back. But that's going to be the armies. So let's get things going as both sides do kind of just trade shots right now. The Salamanders in a nice elevated position over the approaching Greenskins, going to be able to just rain their fiery hot breath on down to the approaching goblins, going to be doing quite a bit of damage. And there are the River Troll, or the River Troll Hag and the Arachnara Queen going to be having some nice targets there if they do decide to focus on them instead. The Swamp Thing's going to be taking quite a bit from that fire and bonus versus large. But now the Greenskin's going to be falling back, or not the Greenskins, the Lizardmen are going to be falling back just a bit here, while the Chameleon Skinks do kind of kite away. However, these Fallhawk Sentinels getting a little caught out here. Not really sure how they ended up on the ground. Looks like they may have gotten a attack order versus a firing order, so they are going to be taking a ton of damage, especially against Black Orcs. They're not going to have a whole lot of help or hope in beating them. We are going to get some nice charges though from some Cold One Spear Riders. Spirit Leech will go down on it in return, trying to peel off a few of its models as they can. But really, these Pterodon Riders have taken quite a bit of damage so far from all these Forest Goblin Spider Riders themselves. Fox Sentinels have been pushed back, so the Greenskins been able to get some nice trades in themselves, though the Greenskins still have quite a bit of things to worry about, especially with these Salamander hunting packs kind of thrown around. And there is, of course, Krokgar himself. And now we do have a Feral Manticore on the field as a Skink Priest does get one of its summons off. And the Greenskins now slowly advancing towards the kiting back Lizardmen Skinks, while Krokgar does try and cycle in and out, doing as much damage as he can to as many of the forces, trying to peel off a lot of the poison sources as well, getting rid of the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Now the Archers still alive to fire at will. They have been able to deal with the Pterodon Rider threat fairly effectively. Only a couple of them remain, and most of them are very tattered indeed. Now, however, this Gyro Troll Hag getting way ahead of herself here, going right into combat here with the Salamander hunting pack. Looks like an attack order gone amiss, and now that Krokgar is going to be feasting on some of that Hag, as she is in a very rough spot. We do have another Spirit Leech trying to peel off as many of those Cold One Riders as they can before she does finally rout away, and rout she indeed does. Now, will she be able to come back? That is going to be the thing, as it looks like we do have the second, or actually that is a spider hatchling summon from the Arachnarok Queen, looking to muck things up for Kroq-Gar on his retreat, and it actually might be enough to rout off those spears as well. And luckily for the Greenskins, the giant river troll hag did route towards her own approaching army, so she does have her regen, so she'll be able to get some of that health back, but that is damage she didn't want to be taken so freely. Gonna have to be a little bit careful with her from the time this time forward. Now, here are some beautiful shots coming in from those Salamander hunting packs, able to rout off those Force-Gone Spider Riders, and they are large units, so they do take that bonus damage, even though they are fairly small in comparison to some other large units. They still get that bonus applied. And here is that second transformation of Kadan finally on the field. Going to be looking to hunt some of the single entities by my guess. While we do have some of those spider hatchings continuing to chase as well as they can before their summon does finally dissipate. They have fairly low leadership as well, so not a whole lot there. Now these Black Orcs going to be a little isolated. Kroq-Gar is going to take advantage of that. Now these Black Orcs will be able to do a ton of damage to those skink cohort, but with Kroq-Gar cycling in and out, should be able to even the odds at least a little bit here. While here is that Feral Manticore finally going to be looking for that giant river troll hag to finish her off once and for all. Taking that damage earlier, definitely coming back to bite her in the end here. We do have, so it looks like that is going to be, the wall actually is going to be going off, but also that might have been spite of the bad moon, given a little bit of extra buff from Skarsnik himself. But Lizardmen continuing just to continue following back. Right now they're kind of falling back in kind of this arcing formation, kind of going back towards the Greenskin spawn. Now, however, just allowing the Salamanders to use up as much of their ammo as they can, and now there's going to be some very juicy shots from the Salamander hunting pack right into one of their best targets on the field, who have bonus is to both the flaming attacks and bonus versus large, so they are just going to take so much damage, and they might just shatter here with how many shots are coming in. Another volley might do exactly that. I'm surprised they have not already. They are, and there they are finally shattered. So man, a ton of damage against those swamp things there. Easily going to be paying for themselves, those two Salamander hunting packs. And Kroq-Gar is still doing quite healthy right now, and the Greenskins are kind of running out of good tools to deal with them. The swamp things are gone. They still have some very healthy Black Orcs. Flock of Doom does catch a lot of the units though on both of these Force-Gone Spider Riders, and in come the Cold One Spear Riders, going to be coming in for a nice little charge, trying to get some more damage off, while Kroq-Gar continues to cycle in and out with those Black Orcs, wearing them down bit by bit, as the Salamanders once again open up, firing away into those Greenskins. And the Arachnarok Queen is also getting fairly low, and Kroq-Gar at this point is going to be a very considerable threat, as a lot of the poison as well has been slowly diminished on the Greenskin side, same as the Lizardmen. We have the Pterodon Riders are going to be fleeing, but we still have some chameleon skinks around with a fair amount of ammo, but they are getting quite low in general as well. But definitely the Greenskins going to want to try and catch out Kroq-Gar, though with his mobility and mass, it's going to be really hard for them to do that. And I'm just trying to think of what else that the Greenskins might have. We still have a few troops kind of that have come back along the edges on both sides. We'll spin over. It looks like there's something retreating in the tree line. Looks like those are some more Pterodon Riders. But yeah, Greenskins looking a little rough for wear right now. Going to be kind of at the mercy of the Salamander hunting packs, but we have a nice little Fanatics going to be arcing its way through these King cohorts, doing some decent damage, and might even reach the way of the Salamanders, as they do some okay damage as they do swing on through on their final breath there. But alternatively, on the Lizardmen side, these Black Orcs are going to be very hard to deal with for their infantry, and are going to have to try and rely on the Salamander hunting packs and good cycle charging by Kroq-Gar, but a very nice Hand of the Gods, and wow, look how much damage that thing has done. That Arachnarok Queen is on critically low health right now, only 340 left, and is going to be routing off the field. There isn't, luckily for the Greenskins, there isn't anything left to chase it. But now Kroq-Gar is going to continue to be cycling as best he can, though Skarsnik going to try and respond to that, as he is bonus versus large as well, as he is bonus versus large armor piercing and poison in melee. So that is going to be very helpful with trying to whittle him down. But Kroq-Gar does get fermented fungi, and without that Skink Chief, though, Skink Priest should have a cold-blooded able to kind of calm him down, but he will still have that minus 24 in melee defense, so he'll be taking quite a bit of extra damage from Skarsnik and those Black Orcs. But the shots are going to continue to rain in from the Salamander hunting packs, trying to peel off as many of the Greenskins elite troops as they can. And the bounce power is still fairly even right now. A lot of that balance is in the Black Orcs and Skarsnik, as there isn't really a whole lot left that has any stopping power on the Greenskin side. They still have the poison from the Force Count Spider Riders in melee, but they have used up all of their ammunition themselves. And now Krokkar able to escape from that fermented fungi, not probably taking as much damage as he would have liked. Now the shot's going to be raining and focusing on Skarsnik this time, while Krokkar is able to terrify off these goblins. And the rest of the Lizardmen trying to continue pressuring these Salamander hunting packs, and they are almost out of ammunition themselves. Going to be forced to engage in melee before too long. But for now, they are going to be able to continue firing away. Another Flock of Doom goes down, catches some of the spider hatchlings as well as the Black Orcs. Now, the spider hatchlings are just a summon, so not really any considerable value there. The ROR Night Goblin is going to be getting a little bit of damage from their Fanatics, though that cast is going to go a little astray, as the Salamanders do respond pretty well to that cast. And these Force Count Spider Riders are going to quickly be meals for those Salamanders as they are pushed off. Now here is another wall going off that may have been a little early on the draw, using that when it was, because there wasn't a whole lot engaged. They may have been trying to save the Force Count Spider Rider archers, but really that should have been waited until the Black Orcs were in their final engagement, because there's no way they're going to be getting another wall at this point. There just isn't enough models left to recharge that again. So that last wall could have been very important had that been used when the Black Orcs and Skarsnik were both engaged with Krokkar, as he is the big target to deal with, because now that the Salamander hunting packs have used up their ammunition, they're not going to win against Black Orcs in melee. They are not a melee unit. All of their value is from their ranged attack, and while they do have some nice explosive damage, they should be able to clear out some of the Black Orcs. It is going to be down to Krokkar to carry the day in the end. And this King Priest isn't going to be doing a whole lot in that regard, trying to finish things in melee himself. But there is a very nice volley, shots landing home against the Black Orcs, but they really didn't take any noticeable damage there. It's kind of chip shots here and there, while Krokkar continues to cycle in, deal with those Force Count Spider Riders, and pull on out once again. Now the Salamander's going to be committing to melee here, getting a little charge off into those Night Goblins. Now they are unbreakable, so they will be able to hold them back, and those Black Orcs trying to respond to that, charging up the hill, but those Salamanders will be getting pretty much a nice little free charge there, able to deal with as many of those Night Goblins as they can, clear out those unbreakable units as best that they have the ability to do so. And the last of the ammunition is going to be spent on that one unit of Salamanders, and there's maybe a volley or like a volley and a half, but there is the last of the ammunition on those. So now it is just melee units on both sides, and we are going to be seeing that final battle here, as Krokkar going to be jumping onto Skarsnik here, and the Black Orcs will respond, trying to get a little surround off onto him, letting those Night Goblins keep those Salamanders at bay. Spite of the Bad Moon does go down, giving a plus 25 armor piercing, weapon damage, and a bonus versus large, which is very helpful against Krokkar, but he will be pulling out of that engagement, allowing the rest of the Salamanders to chase down these Night Goblins, who now have gotten a little separated from the rest of their brethren, and they're going to get sandwiched here between both of the Salamander hunting packs, a little sandwich for them. They will be made quick work in due time, while Krokkar can be getting a decent charge into the side of the Black Orcs with the help of the Cold One Spear Riders, trying to deal the final blow. At this point, I think he's going to try and snipe out Skarsnik here, or at least try and get him to rout, as he's getting fairly low. He is wavering right now. Cold-Blooded is used on him, the Cold-Blooded was used on Krokkar, and Skarsnik is terrified out of that engagement, and now Krokkar is going to be able to respond and jump on top of him there. He does, looks like he elects instead to charge those Black Orcs, instead of allowing that Skink Priest to go after Skarsnik, trying to really wear things down as best they can. We have some goblins who were forgotten for quite a while, trying to come in to assist their lord and kind of get a little bit of extra chaff here for the Greenskins, but the Lizardmen starting to pull ahead more and more as the wear down does progress, and now that Skarsnik is routed off the field, there isn't really a whole lot of hope left for the Greenskins, as Krokkar will make sure that Skarsnik does go down, and now it is just down to the Black Orcs, and they are going to be wavering and finally do rout 2 army losses. And that is going to be our match. A very long spread out one at that. Still went fairly well in D4. The Lizardmen. Take a little look at the after battle report here. So Krokgar really doing most of the heavy lifting on the Lizardmen side, him and the Salamanders, as he was able to rack up almost 3,200, doing some very good damage with the Hand of the Gods on the Arachnarok Queen, as well as doing some very good melee with the Giant Troll Hag and Skarsnik. And the Salamanders themselves getting a ton of value between the two of them. They were able to absolutely delete the Swamp Things, making sure that they didn't get any value whatsoever, and then we're able to kind of chip away at the rest of the units. The Arachnarok Queen, for example, another great target for them, and then with the rest of their ammo, they were just able to kind of chip away at these Black Orcs, making it a little bit more doable for Krokgar in the end. Otherwise, not a whole lot of value was seen on the Lizardman side in other departments. The Pterodon Riders really got shut down pretty early on, and that was a little probably misplay by Alfredino there. Definitely had the mobility advantage, which should have allowed those Pterodon Riders to kind of stay back a little bit and being a little bit more conservative, especially the Fahawk Sentinels. I think that was just a little misclick there. Ended up getting an attack order versus just a missile fire. Unfortunate on that side. And as for the Greenskin army, I mean, just the full kite was just a little bit too much for them to handle. They did have a few misplays, like with the Giant River Troll Hag, the Swamp Things, and the Arachnarok Queen, really not getting any of its value back. Skarsnik was able to support fairly decently, but even though he was bonus versus large and armor piercing, just wasn't able to carry the day against a much larger Krokgar. But that is going to be all I have for you today. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good one.